All right, can everybody hear me good? All right. Whew. Outside voice, I got this. All right. When I was growing up, I was always told by my mother not to walk down dark alleys. See, this was a fear of hers that I would be raped just like she was. When I was also growing up, my uncle told me and my sisters to always stick together. Why? Because he didn't want us ending up in a body bag. Now, the last advice that I got from a family member that I hold dearly to me is my aunt. She always told me to go somewhere where I'm comfortable, and if I'm not, don't go. See, she had this fear of my photo being on the news with the caption, "Rape victim who didn't make it." This advice, it was so important to me because it helped me a lot through life. But when it didn't come in handy, it was really hard for me. What was I supposed to do when my own friend would enter my house? And the intentions were to watch a movie in my room, but instead, he had his own plans. What was I supposed to do when you stood over me and you decided that was the night you wanted to rape me? See, let me define something for you. Consent. Consent is permission for something to happen or agreement to do something. You didn't have my consent. See, and if you would have asked for consent, you would have known that while I was begging for you to stop, that I was in fear, I was in pain, and I hated myself for letting you in. Why couldn't you stop for me? You stopped the same way you did when you entered that store to buy for the condoms, right? You stopped for the red light on Mill Plain while driving to your destination, which was my house. But you couldn't stop for me. Now see, I don't know if the language I was speaking you actually understood. I don't know if your English teacher failed you for not teaching you the definition behind that two-letter word, no, that everyone learns at the age of 2. I don't know if it was your English teacher that failed you or if it was your health teacher for teaching you all the necessities behind having sex besides the one about asking me for consent. Now see, if you would have asked for consent, I wouldn't have to drench my pillowcase in a sea full of tears that night, or even a year. If you would have asked for consent, I wouldn't have to contemplate killing myself my whole entire year at school. Did you know that I showered 5 times that night just to get the smell and touch of you off of me? See, if you would have asked for consent, I wouldn't have to deem myself unworthy to other people. I wouldn't have to fear about getting a boyfriend later on in the future because he might see me as nasty and dirty. If you would have asked for consent, I wouldn't have suicidal thoughts, and I wouldn't have night terrors 4 times a week. Another thing that my mom always told me was that my body was a piece of art, and I believed her. Until the night you came into my room. So you took my canvas and you decided to draw on it with your bloody red marks. It hurt, it really did. To know that my virginity was taken from you. But see, it's 2 years later, and I know now. I know a lot than I did before. I blamed you and I let you in my life for a really long time. But there's 3 things I need to say to you now. 1, you are not in control anymore. Sorry. I'm taking the lead. You're no longer going to put yourself in my shoes. You're no longer going to take the wheel of my car. Because that's what I'm doing now. And 3, I hope you see this. I really do. And I hope you know that you are a despicable person, and I hope everyone knows what you did. But honestly, I'm happy that you're out now.